Hello. Class is in session. MLB Hitting the Book show Friday, May 30th, the last show for the month of May for this great program that we bring you 4 days a week. The MLB Hitting the Book show. Ian Cameron, Connor Mack will be here in just a moment, ready to take you through the Friday MLB slate. As always, it's a full slate. There's never any day games other than your Friday afternoon Wrigley Field home game for the Cubs. That's usually the only Friday afternoon game you get. So it's a full slate to dive into here for this Friday night. So let's get into it. We will begin with the Brewers and the Phillies. We've got DL Hall on the mound for the Brewers, although Quinn Priester is likely to be the primary pitcher entering the game after Hall. Hall will be an opener. Taijuan Walker for the Philadelphia Phillies. We've got Philly minus 120. Home favorites, 9.5 being the total here in this game. I don't buy into Taijuan Walker's 3.0 ERA. I'll be flat out honest. I think that's got nowhere to go but up. And usually in the summer months is when he starts to falter, and the weather starts to warm up. And it is very warm in the Northeast for this Friday night. So I'm expecting maybe Walker to struggle here a little bit more. He faced the Brewers last year. He 4 runs, 6 hits, 6 innings. He wasn't great. Meanwhile, you've got Hall for Milwaukee. He was in a starting role for this team last year. He wasn't really all that great. 6.23 ERA. We're going to see him probably for just an inning or two, and then we'll get to see Quinn Priester. And Quinn Priester's got a 4.23 ERA, which isn't anything great. So I think this over is in play here. A warm night at Citizens Bank. There's still some 9s out there. I like over the total here when it comes to the Brewers and the Phillies here tonight. And let's be honest about this Brewers bullpen. It stinks compared to what we've seen it in the past. It has not been a great bullpen so far this season. And that's another reason why I think we could see the runs too. If we don't get them early, we could still get them late. All right, Athletics and Jays. We've got Toronto minus 180, home favorites, 8.5 the total. We've got Jeffrey Springs for the A's and Chris Bassett on the mound for the Jays. Toronto couldn't hit a lick all week long, and really all week long. If it goes back to the Tampa series over the weekend, just unable to score runs. And then against Texas, not much better. Yet because they pitched so well, they were still able to win a couple games in this series. It certainly wasn't because of their lineup. Well, the lineup certainly got back on track yesterday. They thumped poor Jacob Lopez yesterday for the A's. 12-0 beatdown for the Jays yesterday in that game. So clearly the lineup got back on track, but the Athletics just horrendous bullpen. It's just not been good from them. Jeffrey Springs will get the start here. He was not great in his last outing against the Phillies. He struggled 4 runs, 6 innings in that game. We'll see how he fares here. Actually, before that, he was pitching quite well. Can he pitch that way here? Bassett's coming off a rough outing against Tampa where he gave up 5 runs, 9 hits, 4 innings. He was pretty good before that. And here at Rogers Center, he has pitched pretty well this season. So I'm kind of leaning Blue Jays team total over. I know I've been on the Blue Jays team total unders most of the week, but it definitely feels like this could be coming back home, could be just what the doctor ordered for them as far as getting the offense going. So maybe a Jays team total over, lean that way. Bassett, I think, has a chance to bounce back and pitch better here against this slumping A's team that, look, they're 1-13 in their last 14 games. They're just not a team I'm looking to back here right now. All right, let's move on. We've got, as we continue along on this Friday slate, next up, Colorado and the New York Mets. Battle of lefties, Kyle Freeland and David Peterson. We've got the Mets minus 300 to minus 320 home favorites, and the total here sitting at 8 across the board. We're going to have to see how it goes here with Freeland, but certainly the less than inspiring returns. David Peterson's actually been, more than solid here for the Mets so far this season for them. See if he can keep it going. We know the Rockies are not a team we trust to hit the ball on the road. 3-25 on the road. Look what they did offensively or didn't do offensively against the Cubs at Wrigley Field. 5 runs in 3 games. That's not going to cut it. It's just a question of what are you going to get here from Kyle Freeland. Kyle Freeland's been crushed in Coors Field. He's actually been decent on the road, but, do we trust him here against the Mets? I'm not sure. What I do know is Peterson's been pretty damn steady, and here at Citi Field, he has given up 2 runs or less in 3 straight starts here. So, this definitely feels like, maybe a Colorado team total under. I know the team total's just 2.5 at plus money, but Why not take a shot with it? I think Peterson can pitch well. The Rockies can't hit on the road. The Rockies as a team are hitting 198 against lefties. How about in the last 10 games? 190 against lefties, team batting average, 1.4 runs per game. So I think a Rockies team total under could be the way to go. I mean, dare the Rockies to score on the road. And that's not something they've done all year. They they were lucky to score the 3 against the Cubs in the one game, and they scored 1 in the other 2 games. So, a Rockies team total under, not a game I've bet. I don't plan on it, but if I were to bet something here, that's probably what I'd look at. Rockies team total under 2.5. Dare this team to score. All right, next up, Giants and Marlins. We've got Harrison and Quantrill, the pitching matchup here. Giants minus 160. Road favorites total here sitting in that 8.5 range across the board. I'm not involved in this game, side or total. I'll say this about Quantrill here for the Marlins. Obviously, he's had a dismal season, and still overall the numbers are bad, 6.14 ERA. But he has pitched better in 2 starts. And the Giants on the road, offensively, they're not exactly a team that's mashing the baseball away from Oracle Park there out west. So, I'm a little bit concerned about this Giants team offensively. Normally, I line up to fade Quantrill. But you look at this San Francisco team, and they just come off the series against Detroit where they got 5 runs in 3 games total. The Washington series, they scored 7 runs in 3 games. That's not great either. That's, less than 3 runs per game on average. The Giants just aren't hitting right now. So, it's, that's the concern. I want to kind of fade Quantrill here. Don't trust him, but he's been better. The Giants haven't been hitting very well against on the road. Then you got Kyle Harrison for the Giants on the other side. It's funny that on the road he's had some good and bad. At home he's had some good and bad, but he's got a 6.85 ERA in his last 5 starts. The bottom line is I lean over, but I'm scared to death of what we're seeing from San Francisco offensively on the road. They're just not hitting the ball right now at all. I can't say that about the Marlins, though. They're coming off one hell of a series against San Diego offensively. The last 2 games, they scored 16 runs in those last 2 games combined. So I'd bet over if I have to, but I just don't love what I'm seeing right now to the Giants lineup. But that could be the best way to go, Redbeard, is your Marlins team total over. Take the Giants out of it. Don't trust on them. Don't trust them to do the damage for you as far as an over. Focus on the Miami team total, because I could see Miami hitting here against Harrison. Harrison does not have, great numbers of late, and we've seen the Marlins start to swing it at the plate. So the Marlins team total over might be the better of those 2 options. I do lean to the full game over too, but like I said, I don't love what I'm seeing from the Giants right now in their lineup, especially on the road. They've just not been hitting. All right, Angels and Guardians. We've got Yoel Soriano, Luis Ortiz, the pitching matchup in this one. Cleveland minus 140, 8.5 the total here in this game. Yoel Soriano, not a guy I trust, especially outside of Angel Stadium. He's sometimes susceptible here when he goes on the road, and that's definitely something that concerns me here about, backing him even as a road underdog going into this game. Now, the Angels were a team that just about, a handful of days ago, a week ago, I was riding this team, was betting them every game. They were swinging the bats like crazy. And now all of a sudden they've gone the other way. 5-game losing streak. They've not scored more than 2 runs in any of these games. It's been a struggle for them. We'll see if they can get it back on track. They might be able to, because I'm not a big fan of Luis Ortiz. He's serviceable, but he's not great by any stretch of the imagination. Can they maybe get something going here? We'll see. Like I said, Yoel Soriano outside of Angel Stadium can be a little bit tricky to trust. This one could be an over here for me. It just could be. Now, again, kind of like the last game, kind of want to bet these 2 pitchers over the total, but, one team is not hitting right now in the LA Angels, so you want to have both teams help you out, if you're going to bet the full game over. But I still lean that way with a full game over here with the Angels and Guardians, especially with it, as I mentioned, it's a very warm, unseasonably warm night in Cleveland. We mentioned it with Philadelphia, all these Northeast, Midwest places. It's a very, very warm Friday. Like, we're talking temperatures in the mid to high 70s in a lot of these spots. It's just a burst of Gulf of Mexico warm air masses engulfed all these areas. So there could be more carry in the ball tonight. I think I might get there with over 8.5 here at Angels and Guardians. let's not forget
Yeah.
struggling at the plate, in that series against the Yankees. Rodon's been great. Schmidt's capable. They faced some pretty good pitching there in that series. I don't think Luis Ortiz is quite that same caliber. So I think I'm going to end up playing the over here, 8.5. We got Miggity Mac Daddy in the house here, C-Mac. Now, what's up, C-Mac? What do you think here of this one, Angels Guardians?
Yeah, I think there could be runs here. Yeah, it's hot. It's getting hot everywhere. As I was staring at my computer at the bottom, just says heat warning in effect as the hot weather. So, yeah, I think there could be some runs. I don't trust Soriano on the road. I'm going back here to a prop, though, with Ramirez. I mean, I think he's up to 22. He didn't get one the other day when I had him. I went right back to him. He got in the first inning off Kershaw. And he's 3 for 10, or 4 for 10 off Soriano with 3 bombs. So he'll be one of my jack of the days. And I'll be on his ribby, Ramirez in this game.
All right, good stuff. On we go. Next up, we've got the let me just see here. I think we've got through all the 7:10 Eastern games. Yes, we did. Okay, on we go. Next up, it's Boston and Atlanta. It's Lucas Giolito taking on Grant Holmes in this matchup. Atlanta -165, home favorites, 9.5 the total here in this game, so a big number. What is with this card today in that there's a lot of games that point to, with the pitching, that I want to bet over the total, but here's the problem. Well, Grant Holmes, I'll say this, he continues to pitch better than I ever thought he would. I mean, the last 3 starts, he's given up 4 runs in 19 innings. I don't see that continuing, but I've said that before, and he keeps pitching well. I don't trust Giolito. He's had good start, bad start, good start, bad start, good start. Well, if the pattern holds true to form, he's going to have a bad start tonight because that's been Lucas Giolito's pattern. I don't know if I trust the Boston lineup, though. Other than the last game against Milwaukee, the bats have been dead. They've scored 2 runs or less in 4 of the last 5 games. But I kind of want to bet over with these 2 pitchers. So it's just like the San Fran-Miami game a little bit for me, where I think I want to bet the over these 2 pitchers. But do I trust these lineups enough? Braves have been hitting the last few games. So I do lean over. But again, I'm concerned about what Boston is not doing at the plate right now. And Grant Holmes has befuddled me. I don't think this guy's that good, but he keeps going out there and putting up 1 and 2 runs allowed. So at some point, you just got to stop fading a guy and say, hey, he's pitching better than I thought. That's kind of where I'm at with Grant Holmes. C-Mac, what do you think here, Boston, Atlanta?
Yeah, this is over or pass. The Braves off the doubleheader, though. The offense woke up there in game 2. I mean, they scored 4 in the first game as well. I think they had, 2 or 3 late. Yep. But there's some good numbers off Giolito. They've seen him a bunch. The numbers are pretty crazy. You could go through them. Yeah, Grant Holmes, he keeps just kind of grinding it out. I think the Red Sox could get to him maybe early. I was tempted here by the Red Sox. This team just sucks. Like they're not even 500. They're probably at best a 500 team. They're just bad defensively. They were very bad last year. They just don't do the little things. So, but I was tempted by them as a dog here. I'm off.
I've been so sick and tired of hearing about for years how great the American League East is. I'm loving the fact that it's such a mediocre division finally. Nobody's any good outside of the Yankees. The Yankees are good. We'll keep them out of that discussion. But outside of that, nobody's any good. Nobody is more than an average team or in this division right now.
Yankees are good though, but they have that same issue, which is why the Dodgers love that they played them. But their defensive numbers have been better. I mean, the first 2 months of the year. But that's why the Dodgers loved playing it, which they played today. We'll get to later.
World Series.
That was the problem with it.
We'll be getting to it. Yep. That's definitely that's the spotlight series of the weekend. There's no question about it.
For sure.
We'll get to that in just a little bit. But, I think you guys, and Justin McKelvey, I respect his opinions when it comes to baseball. Stack's play of the day. Of course, you can see that with Jimmy's show when he's on there. Stack's play of the day is Justin. He likes the over. So I think you guys are pushing me in that direction to the over here because I've been burned by Holmes before, but please, Boston, do some damage here against him. I don't think he's this good. And I do think Atlanta will hit Giolito. Remember, Giolito, is a guy I think they're pretty familiar with. So, and you said good numbers. So I think I might get pushed in the direction of going with the over here in this one. All right, let's move along here. Next up, we've got the Cardinals and the Rangers. Liberatore and Jack Leiter, the pitching matchup here. -130. Road favorites for the Cardinals, 8.5 the total. Look, this is, you either bet under or you bet Texas team total under. You do one of the two or you pass. You cannot do anything with the Texas Rangers except that right now. Like, this lineup is it's a disgrace. That's the level they have sunk to, the Texas Rangers, as far as hitting the baseball is concerned. It's pathetic. Like, they're lucky if they get 3 runs in a game these days. Like, look at the Toronto series, another example of that. So right now it's under, full game under, Rangers team total under. Take your pick. You bet one, you bet both, or you pass the game. Is the way I would go about it. And then the same thing with the side. I can't back this lineup right now. I know Leiter, on his best day, is he capable? Sure. Is he starting to turn a little bit of a corner here for the Texas Rangers? Yeah, no doubt. Last 3 starts have been pretty good. 6 runs in his last 18 innings. But Liberatore is very good. He's given up 2 runs or less in 5 straight starts. Where are the runs going to come from here? So, yeah, it's either under 8.5 or Texas team total under, or both, or leave it alone. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, they can't score runs. They don't do much of anything right now. Like, you get to this point. I know in the bigs you don't want to do it. We see less and less of it. It's like moving guys over, or just when you can't get a hit, fake bunt slash, do anything to get going. The Rangers team needs to. The Cardinals are playing better baseball. I think it's them or nothing until you actually see the Rangers at home doing anything. I mean, I can't back them. They've been dog shit against lefties too all year. I think they've been 28.
They're bad all around, but they're worse against lefties. I hear you on that.
They're lucky what their record is. I mean, I have to say that for sure. Seager's back too, right? He just came back. Is he in this lineup?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the 3-hole tonight. Yeah, so it's kind of, I agree. Their team total under. And
Did we just over? What the fuck's Jake Berger done for this team?
Nothing. Yeah, I mean they put him down for a while. Yeah, I know they just brought him back up.
Yeah.
I mean 208, 7 homers.
Yeah.
Yeah, his last name's Berger. I mean, you got to be really good.
You should be flipping burgers, not playing baseball.
Well, that's what I'm. Well, there you go. You just called his name. He's fucked. I mean, you got to be like unbelievable, because then you're gonna get that. You're gonna get like, this guy fucking sucks. You should be flipping burgers. So come on.
Yeah, we just overrated something.
I mean, he's in the bigs. I can't. What am I talking about?
Simeon's not had a great year. Jung Seager's been banged up. I mean, Langford. Langford's. I wouldn't put it all on Langford, but still, I think they expected a better average out of Langford. Langford does have 10.
I mean, Simeon's been bad.
Yeah,
he's hitting 8th today.
Yeah. They overrated this lineup. They thought they had a good offense, or at least a decent offense coming into the year, and it's clearly not been that way. So you keep betting it until proven otherwise with unders, as far as I'm concerned. All right, next up, we've got Detroit and Kansas City. Casey Mize, Seth Lugo on the mound here. Detroit -120, road favorites, 8.5 the total here in this game. I'm a big Casey Mize fan, and Detroit's a better baseball team. This feels strangely cheap with the Detroit Tigers here. Mize, I like. 4-1 they are in his last 5 starts, a 2.37 ERA here, entering this start here against Seth Lugo. Although, look, there has been respect in the betting markets, the last year or so for Seth Lugo, who's actually pitched, pretty solidly here for the Royals, 2.43 ERA. That being said, he's faced the Tigers 3 times, including once earlier this year, and he has 1-2 in those games. Meanwhile, you look at Mize against the Royals, shut him down earlier this year, 1 run, 4 hits, 7 innings. I'm really not going to overthink this, C-Mac. I just think it's a cheap price for Detroit and a guy that's pitching well. And not that Lugo's been bad, and Lugo can pitch well here, but Mize and the better team at this price, Tigers for me, -120. C-Mac, what do you think?
I think when you first look at it, that's the way to go. It's better team. Yeah. Mize on the mound. I'd say still a little bit the better pitcher. Mize has struggled in a few starts. He did pitch earlier this year. That was at home, I believe, where it was kind of a cheap game. I have it right here. But in the last couple of years, he's gotten hit by this Royals team. This offense, though, hasn't been very good. I mean, you look at it, at home, 7 innings earlier this year, 4 hits, 1 earned. But the last couple of years, he's gotten hit by a few of these guys. Classic Perez, Bobby Witt. He's 5 for 11. I go right to him today for his over at 1.5 bases. It was minus 120. So, but I have to go with the Royals here. I think it's a good spot. Everyone's on Tigers. I just don't buy it. I mean, come on. Why is this? If everyone's on all the money, why isn't this moved up to minus 140? And that brings me to.
I'll say this: they're only 16-12 on the road, and Kansas City's 18-11 at home.
They are better at home. That's another thing. And this line too for an under, I want to go to that. I mean, it's 8. It goes to 8.5. They think there's going to be runs. I don't know if that happens. So we saw that the other day with the Braves game. Yeah. These are still two really good pitchers that they had the other day. Remember, it just went way up, and we had nothing in that game. Yeah. So this could be similar. When two teams where the runs come from. Tigers, of course, better offense. But, yeah, I took the Royals here, plus 108.
All right, Rays and Astros. We've got Pepio and Valdez, the pitching matchup here. Astros minus 150. Home favorites, 7.5 the total in this game. You've got, I'll say this about both of these teams. They're hitting right now. You look at the Rays, other than one loss against Joe Ryan and the Twins, 13, 7, 5, 13 for their last 5 games. Look at this Houston team, 5, 11, 5. 3 wins in a row before getting shut down by Boz yesterday and getting blasted 13-3 in that game. Pepio, dynamite in his last start. Best start of the year against Toronto. Shut him out, 3 hits, 7 innings. And he had been pitched, pretty solidly before that. Valdez has been in good form. Kind of feels like with the pitcher's form, it's an under, but both lineups are hitting. I'm tempted to go the other way and over at a number of 7.5 here because of the way the lineups are at the moment here for both of these teams. Both of them are hitting at the moment. Both of these teams in solid form at the plate. The Rays are mashing lefties all of a sudden. Last 10 games, 324 average, 8 runs per game against lefties. So suddenly the Rays have found something against southpaws, and the Astros are hitting 301 against righties in their last 10 games. So I get it. Pepio's had some good starts. Valdez has had some good starts. But these are some piping hot lineups right now. And at 7.5, I think the over's of interest for me. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, all under. Love. I mean, that's just a little tight. It hasn't gone to 7, too. It's just stuck. Both these pitchers pitching better. Pepio struggled a little bit. And Valdez, at least 3 of his last 4 have been really, really good after he struggled early on. And you hit on it. I mean, the Rays, a little bit, better lefties than the Astros the last, 3 weeks.
Yep.
Hit great off righties, around 300. So, because when I look at this, I want the under. I still do. The thing was, and I want the Rays who are playing well, but Astros at home in a situation like this where they've been home and they lose a game, they've been really, really good bouncing back with a win. Yeah. Going through that today a little bit, the numbers. I think they've won 8 in a row, and it's a little better than that. So in the end, I stayed off. It's kind of moving their way. Yeah, I'm off.
Nats and Diamondbacks. We've got Merrill Kelly and Irvin here. Jake Irvin for the Nationals. We've got the Diamondbacks minus 230. Home favorites in this game, total at 9, pretty much across the board here in this one. Merrill Kelly, it's an old friend, I call him, because he's always someone that, in the right spot, the right matchup, I'm always interested in maybe looking toward backing him. You look at his starts here in Arizona, he usually pitches well here. He pitched a gem against Colorado, although that's not saying much, but he still did. Struggled a little bit against the Mets here in this ballpark, and he did struggle in his last start. 4 runs, 6 hits against St. Louis. Jake Irvin for the Nationals. I'll say this, Jake Irvin's pitched pretty solidly here. 3 wins in the last 4 starts. Washington, how about their lineup? Crushing Seattle. 9 runs and back-to-back wins over the Seattle Mariners the last 2 games. What a fortunate over for me last night with that extra innings explosion. So I'll take it. That was the only bet I really liked on the short card yesterday was that Washington-Seattle over. This is one I'd probably lean a little to the over as well, just because, well, first of all, Irvin has struggled against Arizona. He's got some dicey numbers against them in the past. And, Merrill Kelly's been solid of late, but Nats are hitting right now suddenly. And another thing, too, to factor in with the over is that the bullpens are vulnerable. Washington had to use their bullpen a lot last night. Now you're traveling. Now there's no day off. So I worry about the Pens. Their pen has a 4.86 ERA the last 10 games. Washington, I mean. And Arizona's pen has been brutal the last 10 games. 6.6 ERA for the Arizona bullpen in the last. That's why I think this game can go over the total. Even if Irvin and Kelly spin a decent start, you could get the runs late. So full game over, maybe an in-game over. Maybe it starts slow and then the runs come. C-Mac, what do you think here?
This just like the bats have woken up. You talked about in the last game, the late innings, the last two for the Nats. This just seems like it's a flat spot for them. Like maybe their team total under. It's tough. Right now, the way they've been swinging the bat, this whole lineup has been pretty good. We've even seen a Josh Bell sighting. I even saw he had some decent numbers tonight off Kelly. I think he had a home run when I was going through everything. But I think this is D-backs here. They dropped the last two, looked like dog shit. You talk about that fucking pen, horrible. Blew it, and they get drilled 10-1. Pitching has been a problem. Even the starting pitching, they're going to need Kelly a lot because Gallen, we've talked about it. Something's wrong with him. He's not the same guy. He got shelled.
No way.
Again.
Absolutely. Yep.
So, you got to think something's wrong with him. I think he's had one good start where everything looked good with his movement. So, but Jake Irvin's been pretty good. Can you take an under with this? It's kind of what I like. Maybe stick to the Nats team total. This has been tough for me and the D-backs are big favorites here. That's my problem a little bit is the price. If you take D-backs, you got to take their team total at 5.5. So Irvin's been better too, even on the road, right?
Yes, he's
just so far this year in his 4 or 5 starts so far. Yeah, I think I got to set it back off this game. But there's a few that have hit him well.
Philadelphia was a bad start for him. He gave up 6 in that one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, and a few guys have hit him well here. So it's
here's the bottom line. I don't trust either of these two starters to shut out the other. I think they're still going to give up 2, maybe 3 runs. And if they give up 2 or 3 runs, this could still go over. These bullpens are a disaster right now for these two teams. So that's why I think over can get there at 9. So I'm going to get in on that over 9 here in this one. All right, next up, Pittsburgh, San Diego, Mitch Keller and Nick Pivetta, the pitching matchup here. San Diego minus 190, home favorite, 7.5, the total shaded to the under here in this game. Pivetta for the Padres. Let's give him his due. He's pitched pretty solid for this team. He's off back-to-back really good starts. 2 runs in his last 12 innings against Seattle and Atlanta. Pretty solid numbers. He went through a little bit of a struggle before that, but certainly he's gotten it back on track. And we even have to give Mitch Keller a little credit. 5 runs in his last 19 innings. He's given Pittsburgh a chance. The Padres coming off a 10-8 loss. The bullpen continues to be a bit of a problem area lately for San Diego. They have a 6.27 bullpen ERA. Is this a Pirates? Maybe take a shot with the Pirates. I'm not comfortable right now with San Diego laying this kind of a price. Not when they're blowing games like they did yesterday to the Wednesday to the Miami Marlins. So, and Keller's actually been decent lately, but I know you have to back Pittsburgh. That's the problem. A Pittsburgh team is 21-36, 8-20 on the road, but the Pirates have some momentum. They took the last 2 games in Arizona, a little pep in their step, bat starting to swing it. I think if there's a dog on the card you could do worse taking a shot with, I think you could do worse than Pittsburgh. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, this is one. Keller's been pretty good on the road all year long, and he's been pretty good his last. It's tough to have a 3.6. He's 1-6. God damn. A team can't hit. And what do you make of the Pirates' bats finally waking up late in that game and then putting up 10 more, then having the day off? I lean to the under in this game between these two. Yeah. And I kind of like the Padres. The price is too big, though. They've owned these Pirates the last few years. This is just one I got to stay off.
4 straight under in Keller starts, by the way, for Pittsburgh. 4 straight under.
Yeah, I've been on a couple of those home ones. I was looking at this. I don't know if I pull the trigger on the under.
All right, Minnesota, Seattle. We've got next up here in this one, we've got Zebby Matthews and Brian Wu, the pitching matchup. Seattle minus 140, home favorite, 7 the total in this game. Mariners, just a tough loss, tough 2 games there at the end of that series against Washington. They got shut out by, how do you get shut out by Trevor Williams? Look, I had the over in that game, and I was pissed. I was like, what the fuck? I'm on the over here, and you're letting Trevor Williams shut you out? How is this possible? But Washington came through for me. They got all 9 runs. It went over 8, so I thank them for that. And it was Washington that helped me with the over and extra innings last night against Seattle. So Seattle's pitching, the bullpen again has been an issue, and they can't hit all of a sudden. 3 runs in the last 2 games. Now they got to face Zebby Matthews, who's coming in off 6 runs in 7 innings. Is not great in his first 2 starts against Milwaukee and Kansas City. We'll see how he fares here. Brian Wu, though, we usually like to trust him, and especially here in this ballpark. He faced the Yankees in his last home start. Beautiful gem. 4 hit shutout, 6.1 innings. Total 7 here for a reason. I think it could be low scoring. I think I would go more Minnesota, though, team total under. I don't know about Zebby Matthews. Doesn't have great numbers. And so I think Minnesota team total under, I'd feel a little bit better about that. I think Brian Wu can pitch well here against the Twins, who have been kind of cold again at the plate. 2 runs or less, 3 of the last 4 games for Minnesota. C-Mac, what do you think?
I know we got the 7 in this game. I like the under. And there's a little question marks. I think Wu's going to give you 6, so I think maybe you talked about maybe look at the Twins team total. I think Matthews can pitch well. It's just another road start here. This guy's got great stuff.
Well.
Tons
Trevor
of strikeout stuff.
Seattle. Surely Zebby
Well, hey, this guy's young, though. Trevor Williams old and done it. I mean, Zebby Matthews is a big prospect here, Nevada. I mean, let's not rip on him too bad. He's only had two starts his whole career. We'll see. He's 25 years old. Yeah. We got to look at it like that. But, here in Seattle, we're talked about Mariners games have gone over. And this 7's already getting down a little bit to the under. It's just at minus 110. I thought about that, but it's just a lean for now.
This is, to me, I'm not saying bet this game because it's the big series of the weekend, but I think there's a really good situational thing to this one. Yankees and Dodgers, Fried versus Gonsolin on the mound here. Yankees minus 120, road favorites, 9 the total. They're red hot. First time facing the Dodgers since the World Series loss last year. Fried's been lights out. Gonsolin's been mediocre. Give me the Yankees here. Minus 120. I think this game matters more than the average regular season game would to the New York Yankees, based on what happened last year in the World Series. And to be honest, they've got the better pitcher right now in this matchup. Fried's been phenomenal. They're 4-1 in his last 5 starts, 1.39 ERA. Gonsolin's given up 8 runs in his last 9 innings against the Angels and the Mets. Yeah, very straightforward decision for me. Yankees here, minus 120. C-Mac, do you agree? Yeah,
because of the spot a little bit. I mean, it sucks. The book's got it right, though, here. It's minus 120.
They're a rare home dog. That's the problem.
Yeah, Dodgers.
You're right. Not great.
That's the little bit the only thing. I mean, I can't remember. We'd have to look up the last time the Dodgers were a home dog. Ken Gonsolin pitched well. He's looked all right. He had that decent start in Arizona where he went 5. I think he could be all right in this one. Remember when 3 years ago when he went 16-1? It just boggles my mind. And he's horrible in the playoffs. Tony Gonsolin, he's great for the Dodgers regular season and get rid of him. In the postseason, he's been awful. And Max Fried, he's just been. When is he going to get touched up a little bit? When is it?
Dodgers
it hasn't happened.
$182 against lefties in their last 10. Is it going to be tonight?
Yeah, there's some good numbers. A few guys have off him. Other than the big guys, 2 for 10. Will Smith, I think, had some all right numbers, but Edman. I looked at Edman. Even Kike, he's only 2 for 10, but he has a homer. But Tom Yen was 6 for 16. I think those guys, that's always big when they hit, Dodgers are better in the bottom of the lineup. Rojas has great numbers. We'll see if he's in. And he doesn't play much anymore. I don't know why you'd want to start Muncy against Max Fried tonight. But I think Max Fried would be pretty good here. I just think high intensity, rematch. And this line's moved to 9. And we saw a little bit of both. in the World Series, Bavano. Unders tight, and we saw a bunch of errors and overs and big hits. So, but I lean to the under here tonight in this big game.
Yeah, I could see it. I can see a
little bit both. I mean, these lineups are so, talented. I mean, that's why they're in the World Series last year.
Yep.
That we could see, plenty of runs. But I lean under.
All right, lean under for CMAC, and I like the Yanks. The Bronx Bombers here, revenge spot. I think this game, it's look a little more adrenaline flowing for the Yankees tonight than your average.
Oh, for sure.
When you get beat in the World Series and you get a chance to face that team here for the first time, I think they'll savor that opportunity to do so. All right, shout out to everyone in the chat. We appreciate it. Hit the like button on the way out. Good stuff indeed. Looking forward to tonight and the weekend ahead. Anything for Jack of the Day, CMAC, for tonight?
Yeah, I gave out Ramirez plus 550. Talked about it. He's got 10 at bats, 3 bombs off Soriano, and Bobby Witt Jr. Good numbers. I don't think he's gone yard in a while either. Plus 450. Those are my 2 Jack of the Days. I'm looking at the late games. Like Machado. I'm going through some of these. Nothing that I played. So you got anything in the late ones?
I liked what I think someone posted. I think it was Justin with O'Neal Cruz for Pittsburgh. I think that's a decent look. I like that one. It certainly matches up well with what Pivetta wants to do. So that one makes some sense to me tonight in that game. Christian Yelich has hit a homer against Taijuan Walker. I think there's runs. I mentioned that the first game we talked about, Brewers and Phillies. I think there's runs.
Yeah, I think there's some runs there.
Yeah, I like Christian Yelich there as far as a home run prop in that game against Taijuan Walker and the Phillies. What else? We're looking for people that have had some success. Vlad Guerrero has homered off Jeffrey Springs, and he got one yesterday. Maybe that's a sign he gets things ripping a little bit. Plus 400 for Vlad for the Blue Jays in that one. You mentioned Jose Juan Soto, man. I know it's been a rough season, but he's hit 2 against Freeland. So there's someone to keep in mind as far as home run prop there in that one. Riley's got a homer off Giolito. So Austin Riley for the Atlanta Braves could be someone you look at. I think that makes some sense as well. So I'm just throwing out a couple that I've sprinkled on here tonight in these. Oh, and by the way, Christian Walker for Houston has homered off Pepio in the past. So there's another one there in that game. Josh Bell, 2 against Merrill Kelly. Yeah, I think you got to look at Josh Bell for Washington. 2
you finally wake up.
Yeah, jeez. Hopefully, but certainly he's got the pedigree against Merrill Kelly to go yards. So 2 homers against Merrill Kelly. That's some pretty good numbers to go with there. And
what was the flip side, real quick, with Irvin? Corbin Carroll, 4 for 9, 2 bombs. Marte, 4 for 9, double and a bomb. Just throwing that out there because I was looking at those. Really.
Yep, definitely makes some sense.
Yeah, Matt Olson, 7 for 13.
Yep.
Yeah, good numbers. For sure.
No doubt. Those are really good numbers for Matt Olson there against Lucas Giolito. So another one to keep in mind. Good call there from Justin. I agree with that. Good numbers, good history. All right. Best bets here for this Friday. CMAC, what do you like for best bet?
Best bet. Probably nobody's on it. A whole lot of favorite. Give me the Royals at home versus those big bad Tigers. You just keep winning games. I think it's a letdown spot. Royals plus 108.
All right, Kansas City Royals plus 108 as home dogs for CMAC. I'm going to go with those Yankees in the late night hours as low as minus 115 is the current price right now with the New York Yankees. The situationals make sense. Fried's been terrific. Gonsolin's been a little shaky here. 8 runs in his last 9 innings pitched. Yankees, I think, get it done. I think, look, people will see, Dodgers home dog. You never see that. We got to take the Dodgers. No, I think the Yankees are favored here on the road for a reason, because I think they get it done. Yankees minus 115 against the Dodgers for my best bet. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. And like I said, looking forward to the weekend ahead. Oldie, Justin McKelvey, Daniel Abunad, Jay Main 34, Steven Jackson. Let me see here. Who else? Oldie, Redbeard, the Kings back, Nick Elvento, Daryl Turner, Jorge Herrera. Appreciate all this. Jay Stone 9, Brian Elfring. Oh, someone asking, the Ice Guys with me and Alex B. Smith, we're not back till Tuesday. Tuesday will be our Stanley Cup final preview show, 2 p.m. Eastern, and game 1 Tuesday. Betcast Wednesday night. CMAC, you're invited. Stanley Cup Final, Game 1, live betcast, Wednesday night next week, Florida, Edmonton. Game 1.
Rematch.
Yep, rematch. If you want to join us, you're welcome to. So that's going to be on Wednesday night, and there's our schedule. Tuesday, preview show. Wednesday, and Game 1. Series and Game 1 preview show on Tuesday. Wednesday night betcast, and then Friday will be Game 2, and obviously we'll be on Friday afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern for that. So there you go. Hit the like button on the way out. For Connor Mack, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Friday and a great weekend. Cash some tickets. Enjoy the games and good luck. And we will be back with you on Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific for another edition of the MLB Hitting the Book Show. Until then, class dismissed.
Peace.